This program has been rated mature by the Gaming Radio Network. It is unsuitable for under 18s due to content of an adult nature, which may be classed as offensive to some people.
Press button. Don't receive bacon. Just go live. And hopefully go live. Let's just turn that Skype window off there for a minute. Dirk should be here momentarily, hopefully. So welcome, hello to This Week in New Eden. Another show where we talk about stuff going on in New Eden this week. It is Sunday the 27th of March 2016 and it is just gone 4 PM in the UK, 3 PM GMT. Yes, we have now moved into summertime here in the UK, so it's basically how it is. Hello, 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 hello to everyone. So just waving game, there we go. We're live on Twitch and YouTube as well, so you can watch us on both. I will give you the links. Thusly, so we go here or here. Let's get this link here. Let's post it in the in-game channel. Do there, and do it in there. And now just go over to here and post it everywhere because reasons. So let's go Twitch. And there. So there we go. There we go. Right, so we're live. It is another morning, another show. Hello. Thank you to Lumpy for the last 3 on Eve Radio, by the way. And now we're going to talk about Eve. Hopefully Dirk will be here shortly, as I said, because, well, I know he's awake, because he'd speak to me this morning at least. So he'll be here, but yeah, if you're in Twitch, you can watch us on Twitch or YouTube, your choice. YouTube if you want to do quality changes and stuff like that, or Twitch if you just want to watch via Twitch, because reasons. Because we make sure that, well, I make sure that everything's available for everyone who wants to watch at all the times. So, what's been happening in Eve this week? Oh, not much, really. I'm going to wait till Dirk gets here, hopefully, because reasons and stuff. But anyway, CSM election's closed though, so you know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to sit here. You can watch the undock from Jita if you want. You can watch it. You can watch it if you want to. Because, well, why not? I don't know. How is everyone? Everyone good? The question is everyone good this week? Is everyone having a good time this week? Watching and listening and stuff and all that jazz to the years and the worlds and everything. Because, well, it's been a weird week this week. It's Easter. It's Easter Sunday. So first of all, happy Easter if you are celebrating things like that. If you are, you know, if you are. If you're not, then well, a happy Sunday, maybe. I think that does happy Sunday. So I don't know. Let's get. I'll do my self-promotion. I need to fucking learn to speak. Selfless, shameless promotions at the beginning of the show. TWiNE.com. All the places where you can go and get all the information that you need to get if you need it. It's a little website that I run, and it's good, and it allows you to see all the information for you know, things, all the things. So if you want to see you know, what's going on in Eve in various websites and news sites, and one nice, concise, easy to view little dashboard. That's where I made it. I made it because, well, it's already Monday for you, Neko. Yes, it is. It's already Monday for some people around the world. Because, remember, this is a worldwide show. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. There we go. And now I've just knocked over a CD case, which is always good. So, anyway, I'm just stalling. Oh, I've knocked another one over. Just going to pick them up and put them on this little table. Actually, I'll just put them on there. Probably still knock them over, but whatever. Anyway, so let's see what's going on and all that. So yeah, as I said, live for Twitch and YouTube if you want to come watch us and see us and all that. So let's get into the meat, or let me get into the meat of stuff. What's been going on this week with me? Real life, Easter, it changes, and busy. And I really wish Dirk was here. I'm just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to video call him. For no reason whatsoever, I'm just going to video call him right now and see if it actually works. See if he gets it. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Because, it might ring his phone. It might wake him up. I don't know. Anyway, so what's been going on? We're having the end of the event that's going on. What's the word? I can't remember the event. Where is the word? What's the name? It is the final week of the Hunt is On. The Hunt event. Yes, the Garistas event. I did a site today. I did one of those sites. I went out to do one. Should I add the Faction Warfare blog to your thingy? Lexi, if it's already on the blog pack, it already goes there. If it's not, I don't see. But link me. Garistas Hunt, that's the word, thank you. Link it to me, email it to me. And I might be able to stick it on there. But the Garistas Hunt is still going on the final weekend. So March 29th, which is Tuesday downtime. I was in a site today, and I was doing it in a Stratios. And I'm sort of AFKing it, not fully paying attention. But some guy came in and finished it off and took it, and I'm like, oh, that annoys me. But again, it's Eve, so that's how they are. I guess it's how you can look at things and how you can see things going on and all that. And I'm on my own again. Oh no. Anyway, but yes. So, how has everyone's week been so far? Has it been good? Has it been bad? Has it been otherwise? I'm holding off discussion. I'm holding off talking about the big news of the week that was announced on the Meta show yesterday. And I will talk about that in a little while, hopefully. But the way things, or bastards, what bastards, Vaeth, what bastards? I don't know. What? I haven't got any chocolate. I just realised I've got no chocolate here. We've got chocolate here. I just haven't got any with me. Anyway, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into some of the nicer, well, not sort of nicer news. There was a dev blog out on Tuesday this week. Update rookie resources actually is a really good thing. They stole your site. Well, they didn't steal my site. It's a site everyone can go to. The big news: the Matani is not attending FanFest this year. Well, that too. Noisy. I'm just going to link the things everywhere. This dev blog actually about the new updated rookie resources. I do like this. I do like the fact that the CCP are doing this, and there is more information coming out. And for some reason, my Chrome is taking forever to load stuff. It's probably because I've got a billion things running. Oh, it's not that bad. I like this. I like when stuff like this happens and CCP decide we're going to do this for new players because we need to do this. They need to do this because, well, it's always good to do this. Oh, I forgot the links are clickable. Oh, because they're HTML5 chat, aren't they? It needs to be, new players are very prominently needed for the game because, well, we need new players. So if we don't have new players, then what will happen is Eve will die. And, yeah. So I'm just going to see if I can find someone. No one's around. Okay. I'm going to talk about it. CSM elections. CSM 11 elections are closed, so I hope you voted. I hope everyone actually who's listening voted. Whether you're listening live or you're listening in post, I do hope that you voted. Or at least voted for one person. Or more than one, maybe. Eve is already dead, Neko Baka. Are you talking in the sense of the word that we're all dead once we're born? You know, we're born and we slowly start dying? Are you talking in that sense? Or are you talking in the fact that the PCU is down and all that stuff? Matt Canneby says, Wiggles, you make my drive to work much better. Thank you very much, by the way. Very good, Nako, you voted for Yumeni. Well done. Thank you for it. Industry 1, it's been dying for the last 7 to 8 years. More like the last 12, maybe. I'm not sure. Yes. And I'm just looking at various chat channels that I'm in, whether it be in Slack or in everything else. So thank you. Yeah, so that's the way it is. I'm just. Dirk. Where are you? He's probably on the way back. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. Anyway, CSM, the announcements are coming on April 21st, so we've got just over a month to wait now. That'll be the FanFest. That'll be the... Well, results are announced at FanFest on the Thursday? Are they really going to be announced on the Thursday this year? I thought they normally announced them in the keynote on the final day, but... Okay. Which is all good, as long as they do announce them on time. Which is all we need to know. We need to know that stuff's going to be announced and it's all going to be good. Yeah. It's been dying since the 31st of July 2003. Read it on the Elon forums, it must be true. Yes, Noisy, you did read it on the forum, so it must be true. It must be true. Eva's been dying since then. Maybe. I don't know. Eva Online keynote is on Thursday, is it? But don't they normally announce the CSM results in CCP Presents? They don't normally do it on the Eve Online keynote, though. But then I may be wrong. I don't know. I may be wrong. I am generally wrong at stuff because I do normally forget stuff. So, I don't know. Lexi won Eve in 2007. She has no idea why all of us keep playing. Because it's fun. It's things to do. Like, for example, I'm sitting right at Jita right now, and you can see all the ships undocking and turning and trying to do stuff. It's always fun to watch the Jita undock. I'm sadly not going to FanFest. I had booked the time off, but I'll be in Bulgaria the week after, so it would have been awkward to go. Well, it wouldn't have been awkward to go from Iceland to Bulgaria, but it would have been like too much flying. So, Lost Tech says, I just want to know where the Drifter story is going. It's going somewhere. I'll tell you that. It is going somewhere. Anyway, right, I'm going to start topics now. I'm going to start the big topics. Yes, it was announced on the Meta show that the Vale region will be abandoned, and that its inhabitants, the Bastion, get off my lawn, will be deploying to the Saranen to take part in the coalition fleets. If you do not know, what the fuck does one do in Bulgaria? They live, Lexi. They live because that's where my girlfriend's from, so we're going to go see family and get drunk and spend time there and just have a good time, I guess. She's laughing at me. What was that? What about getting drunk? Yeah. Well, I'm sure people do get drunk in Bulgaria. And they probably do get drunk in Bulgaria, don't they?
It's like saying, we're going to Bulgaria to get drunk.
Well, yeah. It's like saying, they got internet there yet? Yes, they do, Lexi. They have quite good internet, actually. They're quite good internet. Harponen says CFC. So anyway, yes. Right. Reading from thematani.com, posted at 4:30 this morning. The Imperium has lately come under attack by what is alternately being called both the Good Guys Coalition and the Voltron Coalition by its members. In the wake of two successive supercapital construction abortions, and I don't like that word, in Branch, and Vale have decided, along with a concerted effort to harass Vale, the Imperium has announced that the Vale region will be abandoned to its inhabitants. As I said, the Bastion and Get Off My Lawn will be deployed to Saranen to take part in coalition fleets. To make up for this loss of usable space, both alliances will receive PvE rights in other coalitions' holdings. Seen as a victory by TGGC and Voltron, it is the first of the domino to fall of the fall. The Imperium has claimed that the retreat from the region is an attempt to consolidate holdings and prevent overextension. Vale of the Silent is seen as too far away from the main coalition staging area to allow serious defense to attempts. Announcement has spawned waves of propaganda and discussions on sites such as Reddit and Tweetfleet Slack as to if this is to truly one strategic move or represents the first serious cracks in the wall. And it says further major developments in the wall will be covered here at TMC, and it's also covered on Reddit and Even News 24. And because of what's happening with it, I've said this earlier on TeamSpeak, where I was chatting with a few people, and I've said this as well elsewhere. This may actually be the beginning, as it says, the beginning of the end. And hello, Market Tycoon. This may be the beginning of the end, or at least the beginning of the end. You know, because, or it might be a downsizing. This is my point, and I think this is going to happen. I think it may be a downsizing, because it says it's downsizing of space and consolidating it, because we used to know that everyone had too much space everywhere, and you could just have loads and loads and loads and loads of space, and you slowly have to bring it down and down and down. And with the new Aegis sovereignty mechanics, with the ADMs and all that, it is, and jump fatigue and things like that, it's harder to jump from A to B to C to D to get there and get stuff done. So my opinion is this, that it is literally just something being broken down. It is the Imperium, you know, just, I'm opening the window slightly, just a touch. It's the Imperium shoring up. Okay, do you need, honestly, does anyone need 100+ systems to live in? I don't think anyone does. Saito Walter says, I started listening and the first thing here is the beginning of the end. Well, yes, Saito, because it's maybe the beginning of the end of the Imperium. Or the Imperium as we know it. This is where the discussion will be hanging for at least the next week. Maybe, you know, the next few months at least. I'm sure all the blogs and the podcasts. And you know what I'm sure of this. I'm sure Gevlin Goblin is probably creaming in his pants right now on this. I bet he's loving it. I totally bet he's loving it. Because, well, it's what it is. Lexi needs one station. You don't actually need a station, Lexi. You just need a medium, a medium citadel. A medium citadel is enough for one person or a small group, and that's it. And when you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that's when you need it. When you need to get more and more and more. And I was discussing earlier on with Minor Dave and DJ Damage and all that, and all the friends of the show was talking about that. Why citadels are coming in. And why CCP are doing this, it's to basically make stuff destroyable again, I think. Well, it is to make stuff destroyable. Sinusoidal bar steward says I need twice that, so 2 stations. Why do you need 2? Why does anyone need a station? That's the question I need to ask. I can't defend a citadel on my own. Well, you can, Lexi. You just have the stuff that's on it. You put the guns on it and the stuff on it. But even then, it was... trust me. It's going to take a while to destroy one of these things. They're beefy. Citadels are beefy. They are not, you know, it's not like a POS. Indigo Talk says, as with all the Gurgoons, Hatgoons, this will last as long as it takes for TI to wake up, resub, and it will cause and kill it with fire with death. Maybe, I don't know. Well, this is the thing. The question that has been on everyone's lips for the last couple of months, or last 6 months plus, is what is there to do in Eve? Why hold sovereignty? And we've talked about it on this show before, and we've talked about it on other shows as well when I've been on and I've listened to. What is the reason for holding sovereignty? Why would you put that effort in to hold sovereignties? Yeah, Lost Six Citadels is the jack of all trade stations fused with more variable. Yes, they will be. Citadels are kind of the jack of all trade stations because you are going to get the moon mining stuff as well. And eventually, remember, player-owned stations, player-owned structures like so, POSs, and outposts aren't going away until at least all the new citadels are done properly. Because, you know, that's what it is. I honestly hope the following happens. I really do. I hope that the Imperium as it is, I hope GSF, so Goons proper, and maybe a few friends, condense down. The problem I've always had with Goons, and that for that out, job pulling of There we go. Sorry, I just replied to a tweet. Citadel's outpost, future stations, is phosphorite. Maybe. Do Citadels require fuel? Yes, they do. They require a certain amount of fuel. But they only require fuel if you put certain modules on there. You know, they don't always require fuel to run. They don't. Generally, Citadels will run completely free on without fuel. They don't need fuel to run. So basic stuff, I don't know. If you want to use some market modules or stuff like that, they will require fuel. But Matt Cannell in Twitch says, I honestly think the universe is a bit too large for the population we have. Well, I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know, and I've never known. We always had way too much space for what we used. Or for what was used. Because I remember when I used to live in 0-0 in the drone regions, when I rented, we would go through swaths of owned space that was just empty. And it was literally just empty all the time. You could go 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 systems without seeing anyone. They're all owned, so they've all got TCUs and iHubs and everything. But you could go for ages and they would be fine. And then obviously the jump changes came in, and there goes that rare. Actually, it wasn't. It was a rare. It was a jump for a rare. You know, it made the game from being 10 foot wide to 3 inches wide. That's all you could do. This is the thing, Lexi. The player base has never been lower. It's not lower. Remember, the amount of people that you see on the login screen, the numbers, represent the active accounts, not the active players. I personally think this, and I've gone on record saying this before, the player base didn't shrink. The player base has shrunk a little bit, but the player base has shrunk, a bit. But the way it has shrunk is because people have got rid of those alt accounts they don't need. So they don't need that account which has got 3 Sino alts on it. That all they do is to move their capitals around. They don't have that. They've got rid of that sort of thing, you know. And okay, yes, I'm not going to call it to the what's it called, the elephant in the room. But yes, okay, multi boxes. Yes, they there's a lot of multi boxes that left, but a lot of people still play, and multi-boxing is still a thing. You can still do it. You just don't hyper broadcast box. That's where I look at it like that. That's where I look at it. So, I personally think what is happening with the Imperium, or what they've announced is happening. Not every player has +5 accounts. I agree, Matt. I have I have 4 accounts I can use. Only one of them is actually subbed. The other one had a 1-month Plex on it or whatever, But I have 4 accounts that I could possibly use. I just made alt accounts because I was using them for doing mining stuff. But then I was like, I don't need to. I don't need this stuff. So I just had to, just condense and do things. And again, it's also about life, because I've always said the players that played EVE back in 2003, 2004, that were vested in the game, who may have been 21, 22, 23, they're now in their mid-30s. They're now maybe married with children, with a mortgage. And the way that changes, the way it changes how people operate, even, it's completely, different how some people operate. I'm sure, again, that's just the way it is, Lost Access, in my opinion, even when we die, it's too well known and too unique. Well, EVE isn't too well known. I will say you that now. It's a niche game. It's a niche game for people who want a harder sort of MMO that's based in space, but also about social interactions. Because you got to remember, I hate to say this, saying that you can't play EVE solo. You can. It's maybe very enjoyable for you. I personally used to love running missions, chatting with friends on TeamSpeak and stuff like that while doing that sort of stuff. And hell, the fact that I run 2 websites based around EVE Online, you know, run Total EVE and I run the New Eden update, plus I do this show and I help, you know, I'm here at the radio and I'm doing stuff here. That's when you look at the way that things go. And I've just, you know, been honest, and, you know, you think about it, you think the way that some people are talking about EVE, oh, whatever. Matt Cannibal says, what I've noticed is every new player, the first thing they want to do is know how and what they can collect my accounts. You know why? Because a lot of new players come from, and as Lost Sex says, EVE isn't the game's social experiment. A lot of new players that come in, they come from places like Reddit, and, you know, they come from forums. And, you know, again, remember, people aren't, gamers today aren't, you know, they're not a pick up and play and sit down and play for hours. They're a quick fix, what's the word? Instant gratification is the word I'm looking for, type of gamers, and that's what it is. And Lexi says, I'll never bother with an MMO again, that's for sure. Maybe, you know, I've still played World of Warcraft every so often because I like playing that game. I play Second Life now. I do some DJing in Second Life at a club there. You know, I do that because I like to do the social interaction stuff, because, you know, my girlfriend likes playing Second Life and she likes that, so we do stuff in there, and it's fun to do. Most MMOs are capitalist, very capitalist in nature, says Sino says. Point out where I'm wrong. Most MMOs, well, now, right, let's take The Division. A lot of people are playing The Division, and it's a persistent shooter. It's a persistent world shooter where, you know, you have, you know, you have a game that carries on and you level up and do things outside of that game, and you can put it into EVE. The context where you put it into EVE, where EVE was the grind, and yeah, that's how it was. And the grind has now gone away with skill injectors. Justin Dragon says that's because the culture's moved to more of a free-to-play mindset, and it's up to the vets to show them the way and help keep them around. Yes and no. Gaming's moved to free-to-play and pay to, or not pay to win, but pay to, free-to-play and pay to get extras, if you like. When you look at, bless you, when you look at games like Warframe or World of Tanks, or any game like that where you don't pay a subscription, where you physically don't pay any money, you will find a lot more people will play it and have more fun doing that than paying their $15, £10, £9 per month to keep going on. And Noisy, yeah, it's the vets that keep telling the new players they have to spend money. I agree with you on that. You don't have to spend $1. All you have to do is pay your subscription. If you pay your subscription, it's fine. You know, and that's how it is. And there is no... Ginger says there is no other MMOs, only Zul. Well, maybe. You still... Wendigo says you still pay one way or another. Well, I tell you right now, I don't... Well, technically, my account, the account I'm talking to you from you right now, my DJ Wiggles account, which is my main account, I don't pay for. It's paid for by CCP. But then as I said, I run websites. I run TotalEve.com. So I pay for that. I don't make no money off that. I have no advertising, no nothing on there. I run the New Eden Update, which is a daily podcast. I know this week it's only had 2, not 5, because real life and stuff like that. But I do that. Yes, I have a Patreon running, which all I do is ask if you like it and you get value out of it, give some money back. It's the same what we do here at EVE Radio. We ask for donations to keep the servers running. So if you like what you're listening to, whether it's this show or the music shows we do or anything like that, if you like it and you want to donate, you can. We like that. But we will still be here. We will still be doing this. I will still be doing this show. I will still be doing my podcast and running my websites, regardless of that, just purely because I like doing it. And I will be honest right now, I don't play the game. I don't play EVE. I don't sit and log in every day and go ratting 0-0 or mission or mine or PvP or anything like that. But I like to talk about it and I like the discussion about it. So hopefully Dirk will be here soon. We can have this proper discussion, so I'm going to keep going on. But anyway, the whole point of this big tirade, running on thing is because of the news, obviously. It was announced last night on the Meta Show, and obviously has gone across. Yes, Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO. Yeah, it's an MMO. Was that the Imperium are downsizing. They are downsizing the space they hold. Doesn't mean people are leaving the Imperium. I'm sure some people will. I'm pretty much sure that some people will actually leave the Imperium over this. There will be corporations that leave and go elsewhere or do other things, right? I'm sure of it. Pretty damn sure of it, because Eve's Eve. But I also will say this. It's going to be possibly the start. It's that first chink in the armor. It's that first, crack in the wall that ends up making the house skew and split and cause subsidence. That's what I think this is. So Indigo Talk says, I doubt it, Wiggles. Wait and see. You can always just wait and see, because hell, people said, oh, well, we're never going to, jump fatigue's never going to work and nobody's going to play. The game, there's been so much more fights since then because people have actually gone out and done stuff, and you can only jump at a certain place. You look at Pandemic Legion, the old Vets Retirement Club that a lot of people call it, right? Because, well, it's retirement club, people go there, whatever. But they go and PO have never been stronger. Okay, they don't play Eve as much, or they're not on all the time, but they're stronger because they play games as a community in other games, and they're always doing that. The same with GSF and anyone in the Imperium, they all have their other stuff. The same that we do here at Eve Radio. And under that logic, the 9/11 was the start of the fall of the USA, Indigo Soul. Well, real life and video games are completely two different things. Remember this. Tyrant Scorn, this will trickle down. The Imperium's put into the test, and they'll probably discover they don't have the numbers of the people they think. Well, I agree and disagree on that point. It's a test, definitely. They do have the numbers, and they do have the motivational period, because they're a bunch of people. Whether or not it will trickle down, though, to being those chinks, again, we will see. I said before, we will see. We have to see what happens. And the fall of the West, Lexi is kind of right on that, Look at the way the world has changed since 9/11. We're completely different. Much more security conscious. Look at Edward Snowden. And again, I'm going to get into real life stuff, but look at Edward Snowden. He thought shit was going down, so he went out and risked his life to put that stuff out there and let people know. Other than we wouldn't know the amount of people that are watching, or government surveillance is Prism, the 5 eyes, the 7 eyes, the 11 eyes, whatever you want to call it, and all that. Again, that happens. And I don't want to get political on this show, because it's not a political show. It's, unless it's an Eve politics sort of thing, but it's not political. What it is, the point is that people play games as a diversion from real life. Whether it be Eve Online, WoW, Second Life, SWOTOR, Division, whatever. People do that to get away from stuff. And, I just think, I'm just trying to look to see if I've got any. I don't think I've actually got any games on my phone. I don't have them on my phone anymore. I listen to podcasts. That's my diversion from real life and working. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, news that came out, and hopefully if Dirk gets here soon, we'll talk about it more. And all that, hopefully. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the veils fall silent, and Eve News 24 had something up as well, and it's the way they've put it up, and it's the thing that gets me. Oh, look, there's a bunch of jump freighters jumping out. There we go. Second Life is still going. Yes, it is. I DJ in Second Life. I work at a club in Second Life, and when I say work, I actually do get some. I do get real life money for this. I do get some real life money for being in Second Life at a club. It's not tons of real life money, but it's a little bit of money. People donate to me, and they do this, and that's the thing. The thing is with Second Life actually has slightly more of a PCU than Eve. Because remember, Second Life is running on even though they run on multiple servers, it's still technically a single shard is Second Life. It's still one universe. You can go anywhere, be anywhere, as long as, you know, you've got access to that place. Some places, some people don't let you have access to certain areas, whatever. The point is, it's still there. It's a single shard. And it still runs. So, again, the point I'm trying to make is, gaming, and I tried to make, and I've made it for years, gaming changes. Look at Blizzard. I'm gonna go onto the World of Warcraft tangent for a little bit. Right? Blizzard, when they released Warlords of Draenor, had 10 million subscribers. 10 million people paying to play that game. At the last earnings call where they announced numbers and said we're not going to no longer give numbers, that number was down to 5 million. They lost half their subscriber base, but still 5 million people. Because people are paying to play that game and enjoying it. And that's the thing, you've got to keep the content going there. Now, okay, you know, Windows is in the pervy area. I'm actually not in the pervy area of Second Life. I'm just in the general area. I just chill out in there, play some music for people, and that's it. That's what I do, because I like doing that. I like the social interaction of gaming. I've always liked the social interaction of gaming, because gaming is a social interaction. And that's what it is. It's how games go, and how things do with it. So the point with this is when you look at, and let me see, is there a way to find out how many's in the coalition? Well, let me just look at Dotlan. Let me just look at Dotlan and see how we can bring it up. Alliance movements. The Bastion in the last 7 days has just got 1,254 new people. Razor has lost 783. You know, and you go, oh, this is a lot of people. But you look at the movements, and you look at the movements of Dotland. Let me see if I can get this on the feed. I'm sure I can. Let me see if I can do a new one. Let me go here. Let me just go for a blank screen for a second. Oh, still wrong one. Let me go to this one. Here we go. And then let me just go. Can I do a web page? Where is it? Where is it? Web page URL. There we go. Load that up. Dotland. So if I load up Dotland, and you guys can see it there, and you guys can see here. Yeah, I accept the cookies. Thank you. And they've got ads. Anyway, you can see here that the Bastion, you know, 4,444 players, right? Razor, 2,300. Northern Army, Nully Turritus, White Legion. Let's look at the alliance movements in the last 7 days. Can I bring that up? Alliances, right? Sort by members. Goon Swarm, Pandemic Horde, right? Test Alliance, the Bastion, FCON, Space Monkeys. Space Monkeys, after their issue that's going on with the casino wars, Noisy knows all about this. And yeah, that's what happens. CO2, Shadow. I remember when Shadow of XDev had like 9,000 people. I used to be in them. But you look at 17,000 people in Goon Swarm Federation. So let's have a look. Let's look at Goon Swarm. 449 corporations. And it's, look at that. Look at the curve. Slowly going up. You see that curve slowly going up? That means that people are joining and having fun. And maybe they will be. I don't know. Again, I don't know this. I'm not in the Imperium. I wish Cypher was here, or Dirk was here, so we could talk about this with them, because they're both Imperium players. Well, so Dirk was. Cypher is in the Goons. But the way it is, you've got to have things out there to enjoy with your other players. If you don't have things out there to enjoy, and we can all admit this, that CCP really, in the last, what, year, 18 months, 2 years, they said, right, we're not going to put Jesus features in, or 2 years, 3 years. We're not going to put big old bang features in. We're going to fix the game. The game was broken. There was so much broken about Eve. The fact that, you know, you could go and steamroll places and this and that. PL could easily in-cap a region, right, in, you know, a Saturday afternoon, and just go back to doing other stuff with zero to minimal consequences, because no one was going to stand up to them. The only powers out there that possibly could may have been the CFC, you know, or maybe, you know, NC or one of the other big coalitions, but they didn't want to do it because it risked losing those ships. Look at BTAC-R, look at Asakai. And that's how it is. Bring back Bob. Yes, bring back Bob. I agree, Lexi. Bring back Bob. But, well, that's what it is. The problem I've always said is, yes, you can be as big as you want in EVE. And you can have, right, a massive, massive thing. And like I've just shown. Like I've just shown here. Look, you can be... Here, Goons. 17,000 people in Goon Swarm alone. So let's add that up. Goon Swarm? Is it... CFC. Let me have a look. Imperium... Imperial Alliance's EVE. There we go. EVE Online Coalitions. There we go. Let's have a look. Is this going to work? There we go. Right. I just found it. I just found the site I want to look at, actually. So, that's actually a good one. I'm going to put that on the feed. So, go here. Let me change this web page. Let me change this to this one. Apply. There we go. Right. The Imperium by coalition members. 43,000 people. Right. Drone Regions Federation. 24k. You know, dank memes, domination, loads of different Imperium. But you look at the thing. Let's look at the Imperium. Circle of Two, executive outcomes, FCON, Get Off My Lawn, Goon Swarm, the Renters bit, Initiative, Razor, Space Monkeys, TNT, Bastion, and the Initiative again, right? The amount of people in that, right? When you look at it, when you look at the amount of people in the game, right? And the people that want to be there, how many of them are actual live players? We don't know. No one knows. The only people that know are the actual players, right? Because yes, in the industry, a character on TI merely increase the amount of people resubbing to enjoy the fresh content. All it will do is make TI stronger. Maybe it will, but you know what? Maybe some of those people there will decide to go, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to offshoot. Can you imagine, right? Can you imagine if... Let's look at it. Let me look at it for a second. Could you imagine, right? If Circle of Two, Lawn, Bastion, and Space Monkeys went, and Razor, or Space Monkeys went, you know what? We're going to take Goons down. We're going to take Goon proper down. Right? Could you imagine that if they'd said, you know what? We don't really care about this. We're going to go do it. That would be amazing, in my opinion. But Wendigo says, out of all the people that I know that play EVE Online in real life, I'm the only one left. When Star Citizen drops, I'm gone. The problem is, Star Citizen, as good as it is, still requires a hell of a lot more work. Elite Dangerous has a good lot of stuff. Still needs more work. Games are never done. Games are never finished. They are never, 100%. There's never going to be a game that's 100% finished that is ready to go and 100%. And that, that's what you've got to remember. I'm just filling up you'll hear this water. It's not me peeing in a glass. I'm just refilling my glass of squash, because glass of squash. Because I need something to drink while I talk. Anyway, Swarm Forever, long live the Goon Swarm. You know what? I've got no problem. I've never ever had a problem with GSF doing what they do. Right? Because they're out there actually doing something. As opposed to all the other people that are sitting there maybe not doing anything. And taking a bit of time to go, well, maybe. It's just how some things are. I would much rather like people to talk about stuff. And play. That's how it is. It's just gaming is the way it is. And the way, as I said before, I'm circling back again to the old circle edge of back again and again. The way people play their games has changed. Gaming has changed. Nobody has the time to sit there and spend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours playing a game, because you've got to go to work. You've got to go to school. You've got to earn money. You've got a family. You've got mortgage payments. You've got the way it is. I personally am fine with it. That's the way it is. By the way, if you are listening live, again, I'm sorry to tyrant live. Yeah, it's quarter 5 UK, quarter 4 GMT. On Sunday, the 27th of March. This is This Week in the Week. Thank you if you got this far in the podcast of me just tyranting and raiding on myself, or if you're listening live, thank you. If you are liking what you hear, you can actually subscribe to the podcast at show.gamingradio.net. The links are there for the RSS feeds and the iTunes feeds. Ready Player One, amazing book. I've listened to it on audiobook. It's amazing. Also, what you can do as well, if you like what you're watching here, there's two ways you can watch this. You can watch it live, as I said, on Twitch or on YouTube. I try and broadcast everything live to both, and now we can do that. If you want to subscribe, like, follow, whatever, on Twitch or on YouTube, you can do. You'll get all the videos and announcements when they go live, because of what we do. And that's what it is. And again, Lost Tech, I find what you're talking about interesting and need to apologize. I know, it's the one thing I do. I always look at things, and I know people like talking about it. And normally, as I said, I hope Dirk was going to be here. I hope he's okay, because normally he would poke me or whatever, but unless he's had to go to hospital or whatever, so whatever. But anyway, I just personally like the way that, subscribe, like, follow, all that stuff. If you're on Twitch, hit the button that's sort of down this way a little bit, and there's a little heart. If you've got a Twitch account, follow us so you know when we go live. If you're on YouTube, hit the button that is, now I've got to look at the thing, hit the button that is down that way, down there. There's a subscribe button, which is, it's my personal channel, I'll admit it, but yeah, it's where I do my stuff from. It's how we do it on YouTube. And the reason I do it on Twitch and on YouTube is because I know not a lot of people like Twitch because they don't like sometimes the player on there. And YouTube, you have the ability to change the quality. So if you want to go 720p full HD, 720p HD, or if you're on a limited mobile, you can do it at 360, whatever. We do it. I put it on there for you guys. That's the way I do it. So anyway, Goons, we talked about this. And and again, the way it is, that the smug and everyone's, this, that, the other, the way that things are, it's how things go. I've said it. And a big shout out to my boy Harry who's listening. And hello, Harry. I know you're live now. Thank you. Watch me live as well. Twitch.tv/Eva Radio Live. Or if you just go to YouTube and search for Eve Online, you'll find us around there sometimes. I can't play Twitch because the internet's so slow, thanks. Well, Nanum, if you can't watch Twitch, you can watch it on YouTube. The reason I say that is because YouTube, you can drop the quality. So let me give you the link. Let me give you the link. There we go. Here's the links again. I'll post them in there. There's the YouTube link or the Twitch link, so you can watch them both on there. Because why not? If you want to watch live, it's why I do it. So anyway. You can change the quality to Twitch if we get enough people in here watching. You have to be in the top 500 of streams that are going on that's not a partner. And that's the reason I do YouTube as well, is because YouTube just gives you that feature for free. You don't have to have partnered things. And I don't know if we're in the top, bunch of people playing certain games. I can check. I can check the games. Let me check EVE Online. Let me see. Can we find EVE Online? Top streams. EVE Online. No. I want to look EVE Online properly. You can search it up. EVE Online. And there we go. Let's have a look. EVE Online. Come on. There we go. EVE Online. So let's have a look. So live channels. See, that's the thing. I'm not in the top bunch of it. So, well, I'm the fourth most popular on there at the moment. And that's how it is. So, anyway, happy Easter time. He is risen. I'm going to celebrate Easter right now by having a Cadbury's cream egg, because I can. And this section of the show is not sponsored by Cadbury's or anything. It's just, I want a Cadbury's cream egg. So, yeah. Anyway. See, Los Angeles says, most of the streams I've seen are either mining, exploration, or just boring 0-0 stuff. this is the thing. Each to their own. People do stuff to the, you know, they decide to do things in the way they want to do it. You know, is it going to rain? It looks like it's going to rain. Just looked out. It looks like it's going to rain. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway. Getting back to, I digress. I always digress, but anyway. Getting back to what we're talking about, which is thing. The other thing as well. This has caused a lot of, and I'm just unwrapping this thing. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to eat it right now. The other thing as well. This has got on the games subreddit, so r/games, and I'll put the link in thing. 00 is the best part of Eve. Indigo's Hulk. I don't agree with you. Do you know what? The best part is the best part of Eve is what you make of it. Right? That's the best part of Eve. What you make of it is the best part of Eve. I'm just going to put that link there as well. Oh, come on, Twit. Come on, there we go. This was an interesting thing because it's posted on Reddit, and everyone goes, "Oh, Reddit." Reddit's actually really good. I really do like Reddit because it surfaces the good content, not the bad content. The bit I liked about this is as follows. It goes, "It's been just over 2 years in Eve Online since Eve Online saw the largest battle in video game history," which links to Super Capital Fight, which was that BTACR, or was that BTACR, or was that, I can't remember which one that was. Was it BTACR? Let's have a look. I don't know what it was. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, it says, since Eve has somewhat stagnated, the winners, the CFC, now rebranded the Imperium, had secured their place in the only real superpower and were untouchable. Whilst there were plenty of fights going on, no one really believed we could ever see another battle of that scale again, and there was no one who would challenge the Imperium until now. Well, this is until now. The past week has seen almost major alliances and many smaller corps go to war with the Imperium. To understand what has sparked this, I'd like to give you a little history. Since CCP introduced a new system for capturing sovereignty, which we all know, which is the Age of Sovereignty. The Mittani failed Kickstarter. Now, the Mittani, as you know, I'm not going to rehash it, but yes, we know about the Kickstarter. I was personally wanted that to win because that will win works. That would have been a good Kickstarter. That would have been a very good Kickstarter. And the Andrew Graham book is good as well. I haven't read it. I'm going to purchase it eventually. Where was we there? High-profile Imperium members defect, which was a few of the FCs that left, and the I Want ISK financial backing from war. If you don't know, the final piece of the war, the website I Want ISK, think Iron Bank, begins paying alliances to go to war with the Imperium coalition after SMA member alliances pays a bill and fails to pay a bill and accuses I Want ISK of illegal activity. This is a very, very good post. You know, and again, this shows you what is good. Because in a war between spacemen goes, I cheer on both sides. Wendigo, I would cheer on every side. You know why? Because it's bringing the content out there and bringing the... What's the word? Bringing the... What's it called? It's bringing things out there for people to do. It's what it is. It's bringing things out there for people to actually do. And you know what? Just how it is. People just realise, or need to realise, that sometimes you're not going to get everything straight away. You're not going to get everything straight away. And remember, it's a game. And a lot of people go, oh, it's not, it's a game. Yeah, EVE Online is a computer game. It's a video game. Remember that. And yes, I'm saying blue murder and all that. It's a video game. I think people should fight more instead of being ISKors. He just says, maybe. You know what? I think people should just get out there and do it. You know, and get that stick and just poke. Because you poke the bear more than enough. Eventually, what's going to happen is that bear, you know, you're going to turn around. There's one or two things. The bear is going to hit you, or the bear is going to run away. And that's what I think is happening with the Imperium right now. Need to Horus if you've got a ship to fight in. No, you don't have to. This is the thing. Remember, you don't desperately need it. If you can afford, you know, money, if you can afford real life cash, you can buy a Plex and sell that Plex on the market and get ISK. You know what? I'm in Jita right now. Let's check the prices. Let's check the prices of Plexes right now. The prices of Plexes are the right now. Cheapest you can buy a Plex right now in GTAR is just under 1.1 billion. The best you'll get for it is 1.81 billion. Thank you to Waku for now following as well, who's now following the Twitch chat, or following the Twitch server for Eve Radio. Thank you very much. And you look at the price history, though. I'm showing you here the price history. I talk about this every day on the update. It's hovered around the 1.1 billion mark for the last sort of month, give or take. It went up, it went down, 1.1. It got, at one point, we were very, very close, literally last week, for it going right down to under the 1 billion mark. Which, if it had done, would have been interesting to see what's been going on. But, as I said there, you know, it's how much it is. Again, you do things, and that's how it is. Oh, Osprey, 404 skills. You know, 2,000 too much skill gain. 173 mil on my main now, but then again, I just sit there and change stuff. So that's how it is. It's how it is. Anyway, war is good because it means people will produce and people will destroy it and all that stuff. Hello, Caleb. Caleb on the Twitch chat. Hello, 7 to you, my friend. So we've been going just over an hour here on Eve Radio. I wish Dirk was here. Again, I'm a bit worried that he hasn't spoke to me, so I hope he's okay. I really do hope he is okay. Hope he's good. So anyway, moving on. So I talked about the, you know, veil falling. I've talked about it at length with myself. If you want to hear that, you can go back and watch it earlier on and everything. But yeah. Moving on. Unless Dirk turns up, then we'll talk about it because, well, I will do. Moving on slightly. I want to talk about Pandemic Horde in their incursion into Fade as well, which was published on Crossing Zebras on Friday. Because just over a month ago, the writer of this, Dysphonia Ferra, wrote an article. Wendigo says, only like Mrs. Gurk. You know what, Wendigo? Stop being a creep. I'm going to say this on air. Please stop being a creep. I know it's the internet. I know you can be whatever you want. Please stop being a creep. Thank you. Just be nice. Just over a month ago, I wrote an article detailing initial announcement of events of the Pandemic Horde's Fade incursion, joining psychotic tendencies tissue in making the game as unfun as they could for SMA. Reasons for doing so were different for each alliance. We begin taking a look at the stated goals and the Horde's initial announcement and how they evolved. You know, the stated goal was to reduce SMA's member count. Since the time of the announcement, the member count has dropped by 1,000 members, bringing SMA down to just below 3,400. Several leaks posted on Reddit indicate that among this number were long-term members and at least one FC. Stop being a creep myself. You know what, Wendy? You can have, let's say, 980 minutes mute. Being creepy. There you go. You can be muted for that time. You're muted by that time. So, and again, if you've got a problem, email complaints@gamingradio.net. That's where you can email them, and they'll look into it. You're just being creepy. Stop being creepy. Thank you very much. Anyway. First stated goals to reduce SMA's member count. It's dropped down by about 1,000. Several leaks posted in Reddit, including there was a number of long-term members, at least one FC. Although this is entirely false to make you think, this is entirely false for me to make you think that all the numbers were useful members. In reality, SMA has some from fat trimmed as well as losing good men, and that's how it is. That's how it was. As anecdotals aside, not entirely related to member count, that we see that FMA's fleet numbers in both their own fleets and Imperium-wide fleets have decreased from over 100 pilots in the content ring in December to being far than worsely represented in the Imperium Alliance in the recent 2DWM2 2000 man brawl. Of course, fairly slightly longer trek for SMA, so that factor should be considered. And that's what you got to look at it. You know, you got to look at the factors and the way the things are. Some people will take... it takes longer. You got to remember the jump fatigue now is one of those things as well. It adds into the things where that's what it is. Caleb says, why did not see you went live? And mod power, yes, it is. The reason you didn't see when I went live because I tweeted an hour ago when I went live. That's what it was. You know what? The reason he's being creepy is because he's been being creepy all afternoon. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, no problem. There we go. There we go. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, what was I talking about? There we go. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, talking about this. Fade and all that. Anecdotal evidence. The second goal is twofold: to reduction of the activity of defense multipliers, and eventually remove the SMA SOP. Within the first week, there was a drastic decrease in the ADMs in Fade, specifically in the 2 targeted constellations, which makes intosising systems take considerably less time. That's how it is, and that's where you look at it. There's an effort, or there's a plan. You look at the plan. You have the way the plan worked, and you activate. You work out the plan. It's the same as working. It's the same as anything. You look at the plan. You see if you can activate that plan, and if you can, you do it and you assess it, and afterwards that will work. And I'm going to eat some of this egg because I feel like egg. Cadbury's cream egg, so nice. I'm sorry I'm talking with my mouth full, but whatever. It's all good. But anyway, I haven't logged my lunch. I'm going to log my lunch right now. I logged my food. That Cadbury's cream egg is my lunch, by the way. I don't think I logged my breakfast either, but whatever. No, I didn't. I'll log it. Anyway. Pizza as well. That'll do. There we go. So I've got a bit of Cadbury's cream egg stuck in my throat. And I've just heard back from Dirk, so he's going to be here in a bit. Well, he'll be here in a second, hopefully. I can't, let me just log Cadbury. Oh, I'll log that later, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the way low Brit fag, Caleb says, whatever. I need more David Essex, yeah, that's what it is. Caleb says low Brit fag, yeah, that's what it is. The way that you look at it, you work out a plan, you know, plan, something I used to do in Tesco's. We used to call plan, do, review. You plan something, you do it, and then you review it. And I'm sure Horde right now are reviewing what they've done. They've planned it, they've done it, or they're in the process of doing it, and they'll review it as it goes on. And that's what you do, and I'm sure that's what the Imperium do. I'm sure that's what anyone is doing. I know, Caleb, I know it's not properly Empire owned, I know, but you know what? I don't care. I'm fine with them. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go. Well, that is how it is going. They plan something, they do it, then they review it. And then you look at it, you look at the outcome. Was it a good outcome? Could you do a better outcome? Or could you get a better outcome? Or could you do something better from it? And if you could, you take that feedback on board and you deal with that next time. And that's the same with anything in any game. Whether you're raiding top-end content in World of Warcraft, you are shooting a station, or you're intosising something in Eve, or you're going in the Dark Zone in Division. You look at it and you assess. And not everyone does it in that way, so you don't always PDR. But you have the ability to do that, and that's where it works. And let's do a video call for Dirk. Let's mute that there. So hopefully. And there we go. He's there. And then we do that. We drag him into there. Because we're in the FFA channel today. You need to turn your microphone on, Dirk, and you'll be good to go. Actually turn it on in TeamSpeak as well. And let's do that. For some reason there we go.
Alright, maybe now.
I can hear you now. And I do
shit,
that.
Man.
Hey!
Can my day be off to an even worse start? I don't think it can.
It's all cool, don't worry. I've just been tirading for an hour about stuff.
I got my big chocolate bunny.
I'm eating a Cadbury's cream egg. I literally just opened the Cadbury's cream egg, and we do have Easter stuff here as well, but not No, I've tiraded for an hour, which this is the second hour of This Week in New Eden, March 22nd, 23rd, March 27th, 2016. How are you, Dirk? Apart from oversleeping. Funnily enough, I spoke to you at about 7 o'clock this morning, didn't I?
Well, hold on, and that's how bad it was. Yeah. So like 7 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was still up, and I was sitting there at every intention. It's like, you know what? Not gonna go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. Don't do it. Don't
just
go
drink
to sleep.
coffee. Just cool. It's only 4 hours, but no, it's cool. It's cool. Anyway,
Sat down to watch a little TV. Boom, gone.
yeah, and then you're like, that's why I thought I'd just ring you and see what I'm. Anyway, it's fine. It's all good. Anyway, I want to get your take on the big news of the week, which is Vale.
Vale.
The Vale retreat.
Um.
Hold on. Wait for it. You're going to catch up now.
I would call it a.
There we go. You've caught up.
Yeah. What the heck? I don't know if I would call it a retreat. I would call it a strategic realignment.
Yeah. Strategic realignment.
Am I digitizing?
You're digitizing again. Yeah, you are. You just. I don't know what's going on with it. You haven't got Twitch or anything open, have you? No. I don't know. Let me do that. Let me stop the video call and just try for a second. If you get anything. Is there any issues? Can you still hear me? Is it all good?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
I'm literally shutting like everything down.
That's what I do as well to make sure. So, anyway, while I eat the rest of this cabbage cream egg, and we'll try that again. We'll try a video call. I'm going to mute my mic again on that one, so it doesn't show up. Throw that over there. Right, let's try again. Let's see. Technical things on the fly, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'd call it a retreat. I'd call it a strategic realignment.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no. I joke. I joke mainly because I was literally in the process. I've joined the Bastion.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Who are obviously in Vale. Prior I was in CO2 right next door in Tribute, right? And then I dropped the hell out. And then I've joined Bastion. I'm going up to chill with my man Pukin.
Yep.
And I was in the process of getting my own stuff, sorted. Well, my stuff was already sorted, but I was getting it sorted, for, to go up there. And this stuff started going on, and really the whole reason that I wanted, not the whole reason I wanted to be up there, but this is where the war is happening. I'm good with that. I'm okay with living in a war zone. I'm okay. I was going to travel light, just because. That's what you should learn to do at Eve. Don't be a hoarder. But anyways,
yeah.
Now on the other hand, I know some other corps, who have more recently moved their entire corpse, into that area, right? I mean, it's not just the people that have been living there. I don't know. What part of it do you want to talk about? Because I mean, you've got the war aspect of it. You've got this news that that Lawn and Bastion, are going to be, pulling up some of the stakes that they have there. The whole coalition's, well, this is what I've been told, right? The whole coalition's staging is now moving to Saranen. And we're going to fight as a single coalition out of that area. Now, that speaks to a lot of things, right? Saranen's over here.
Yeah,
right? It's
and you're here.
Yeah. Well,
it's like me doing this. It's like, well, we're going to stage here. You live here by this microphone, but I'm going to stage sort of all the way over here, like over here, hi, over here. All the way over there, and I've got to travel all the way back and all the way forward every bloody time.
Well, it's if I tell you that we're moving the combat staging okay, from the beaches of Normandy, okay, to North Africa. I mean, what does that tell you? Like, if you happen to be living in occupied France at the time, it's going to be a little harder for them to get here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And that's fine. I don't care, honestly. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care. I mean, I hope that the whatever plan they have is is the correct one. Whatever plan gets the coalition that is designed to work together and not really work independent of one another. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, some people will sit there and and look at that and say, oh well, geez, every alliance should be able to stand alone. No, I'm going to be honest. The Imperium is designed to. It's designed to do that on some scale. Yeah. This is not that scale. The scale that they're up against right now is Imperium. You better get all your dogs in one kennel because not that all of the rest of them out there are working as a single cohesive unit, right? PL, NC dot, tissue, test. They're not working in one war room. I assume they're not running unified doctrines. They're not running unified command theory. Any of that. But under FOSSISOV, you don't really have to do all that, right? Because it's not single point in space at a single point in time and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of fires burning out there. The Imperium needs to regroup, and it needs to regroup in a single place. And if Saren is where they want to fight out of, then let's see where that goes.
Exactly. Well, this is what I was saying. I said this in the first hour when I was thing. But this is going to be both good and bad for the CFC/Imperium/ whatever they want to be called this week. Because it's gonna make them think about what
the Sarenites.
The Sarenites, yeah. Well, that's about what it's gonna mean that yes, maybe there is gonna be people leaving, because obviously when you say we're giving up a region, we're just we're not giving up a system, we're giving up a whole region of maybe 100 systems, something like that. There's gonna be some leakage. There's gonna be some people that go, you know what? We're going to just leave because we want to go do something else with someone else. Well, as I said, I looked earlier on here at some of the numbers, and I'm just going to bring the page up in Twitch because I still have it there loaded. It's Eve Coalitions. Actually, it's a really good. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it before. Well, I've seen it while I was looking for this show. But it's a little website that literally just shows you the coalitions, and it's a www. Well, it's just a thing, and it loads up. It shows you the coalition members, and when you look at it, you got the Imperium at 43k, which is 36% of the known coalitions. But when you actually look at the Imperium itself, Space Monkeys lost a few, they gained a few back, TNT, Bastion, and all this. But when you look at it, if you took TNT, Bastion, Space Monkeys, Razor, and maybe Lorne, and they said, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. We don't want to be part of the Imperium anymore. We want to just move off and do stuff and be independent of the Imperium. They may be still friends and this. They won't go and jump with them and help them every time. But this is the thing. It could be the first chink in that armor, which means the greater CFC, or the greater Imperium as it is, slowly downsizes, because they're downsizing space. Because as we've said before, I've said this to you and we've both agreed on this, pre-FOSSISOV, you could own, when we used to live in the drone region, you can own swaths of space that nobody's in. But now it's harder to own that space now because you can't jump from one side of the universe to the other in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things here. And again, I have no secret intel or anything like that, right? I said it. Oh God! Well, I said it. I think around about the time that FOSSISOV came out, because remember that the Imperium had realigned its space out there. Okay, had given up space down south, and contracted to a smaller footprint ahead of FOSSISOV. Right?
Yeah.
I was in TNT at the time, and we had moved from being up in Declan to down in part of Tribute, along with CO2 there, and there was a whole bunch of different pieces that were moving around in space that was being given up in order to consolidate the footprint. And I didn't think that it was consolidated enough. Okay, especially in light of what I think was about 3 weeks after the fact. Okay, after the decision and everything had been made, after everybody had
Skill
moved
training
and
is destroyed
consolidated
and you died.
down the space and whatnot, is when they came out with the changes to sex status and the number of anomalies that allowed for a higher player density within space all over. What we've come to kind of term the equalizing of space all over. That you didn't have these zero point zero 0.01, negative point zero 0.01, point 0.02, point 0.03, systems that were completely useless, all right, for anything other than mining, all right. You now had a bunch of systems that were, oh my God, these are all very much alike. Pretty much every solar system in nullsec is usable by more than one person. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, it created the opportunity for a higher player density out there, which is something that this whole farms and fields thing, has to do with. But the decision had already been made and everybody had already moved. So you could probably, in all honesty, get the Imperium down to an even smaller footprint than where it is right now. Okay, a lot of organizations out there, not just the Imperium, but anybody out there holding solid space, can theoretically get down to a smaller, easier to defend, easier to maintain your ADM indexes, that sort of thing. Higher population density, higher indexes, higher defensive capability. Type of situation, and I don't know. Maybe we end up seeing that out of this. I don't think that the Imperium losing space is any kind of surprise during peace. Okay, during a time of peace when war was not the thing anybody wanted to be a part of out there, at least as far as attacking the Imperium goes. They held too much space. They held it because you know what? Nobody's coming to take it. We can hold it.
Exactly.
Okay. But if somebody wants to come and try, or if somebody wants to start lighting fires in multiple locations, then maybe it does need to contract. And then once it does contract, it gets down. Taking those first few areas, even allowing a region to potentially flounder or whatever. But even just losing it militarily, that's one thing. Being able to push past what then becomes the concentrated core after that will I think be a different issue. Okay, and I'm not grandstanding here for the Imperium in any way, but I would think that, look, if you assuming that they don't have things chipping off, right? Either large numbers of people or alliances or anything like that, and assuming that it somehow coalesces into a more defendable boundary system.
Yeah,
I would think that it will be more difficult for whoever the foes are to be able to do things at that time.
Definitely. So I had a question from the YouTube chat from Caleb Arion. It says, ask Dirk about his take on Iron Bank and how much personal fighting drama or infighting drama we can expect in this war.
What the Iron Bank?
Yeah,
I want ISK.
Because Iron Bank, even though Iron Bank isn't bankrolling it, it's been one of those things with I Want ISK. I think Iron Bank, they've been working with I Want ISK, haven't they? They're one of the founders and one of the backers.
Iron Bank is one of the premier sites that I Want ISK, kind of funds through and things like, right? But I mean, Iron Bank's a streamer though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, he's I guess he's tied in with the whole I Want ISK casino side of it, I guess. But he also does streaming and is supported by the funds that roll off of that right there. I mean, you can go back to that whole SMA story, and again, you know what? I don't know the story there. All I know is what I've heard. Is that the only guy that apparently is still banned. May have been a space monkey. I don't know. I mean, I said it the other night on Talking in Stations, right? I don't care who's funding war efforts out there. All right. I don't care why they're funding war efforts. I just like the fact that we've got somebody out there. Well, and again, they're not funding this whole thing. I Want ISK is not funding this whole thing. That was an attack on Space Monkeys Alliance using mercenaries. Okay, over in Fade.
Yeah.
Right. What's going on right now over in Vale, okay, and surrounding areas, because obviously Tribute got hit a bit yesterday too, and but what's going on in Vale with Test and with PL and NC Dot and the groups that are over there aligned with them? I think there's something like 53 total alliances.
Pounding
on that side. I mean, I saw somebody put out a stat last night. I don't know how accurate it is. It was something like 46 or 41,000 active members within the Imperium's 13 alliances or whatever, and then 53 alliances over here with something like 46,000 pilots in it or something when you add it all up. So it's like so it's actually kind of pretty balanced in terms of the raw numbers that are supposedly associated with both sides of this. But yeah, I don't know. I mean. Look, I don't get into the whole propaganda thing over the real money trading coalition or any of that shit. I literally don't get involved with real money trading at all anymore.
Exactly. Well, because for us, as I don't want to say media pundits or whatever, but for us, for what we do, we're here to talk about it, and enjoy it if you fight in it and hope it goes well. And as I said to you, as long as there's nothing really. As long as there's no illegal RMT going on and it's all being funded legitimately, I'm with you. I don't care who backs it.
No, hold on. Here's the thing, right? I don't even care if there is illegal real money trading going on somewhere. The reason why I don't care about that is it cannot be my job. What we have found, what I have found, okay, over the years of doing this, and at times railing against people, including I Want ISK and Iron Bank at times, okay, and things like this, right? Is the media, whether it be the talking media like this, the writing media, any of them, right? Do not have the resources to do the due diligence that allows a real investigation to take place, right? Either CCP does it and deals with it, and we can all sit there and go, oh, that dirty real money trader, they got banned, okay? Like maybe with somebody else where it actually happens.
Yeah.
And then we talk about it afterwards, that's a different story. But literally every single time that it's ever happened where there's been a claim against one of these people out there for real money trading, almost every time nothing ever comes of it. Meaning that a lot of fire is made by the talking heads and the writers and the punditry out there, and the players in general. I look at any claim right now of anybody, I don't care who it is, real money trading, and I just sit there and I just go, you know what? Can't be proven by me, therefore I'm not getting involved with it.
Flail, our French, ex-French co-host from the New Eden Update, says, Dirk, do you think GigX will waste his time defending Tribute when goons have always struggled to form for any significant numbers on the last X deployments and sent ... fleets to help adjoining the LS regions of late?
Okay, I think that if you look at the map, if in fact Vale Vale's going to burn. If in fact Vale is going to burn, I do not think that you can also allow Tribute to do so. Tribute has been a linchpin key to the North ever since I can remember. I mean, I cannot remember a time when if you wanted to hold Branch, if you wanted to hold Declan, if you wanted to hold, hell, even Fade to some extent, if you want to hold that area that is downtown Goonland, okay, Tribute can't burn. Tribute has got to be a line in the sand as far as that, as far as that goes. I think that the Imperium has to defend that.
Oh, they definitely. Because at the end of the day, you Declan and VFK and all this sort of stuff.
And Saarinen is absolutely within striking range.
Oh,
of being able to do that. I mean, one of the things about the topography of the Vale region is it's a pretty big region, okay, and and it looks one way on Dotland, but it's actually a little more difficult to get around. As far as distances go, when you start working in not only the 3D world of space, but also just the way that CCP had it, has it kind of laid out. So again, I don't know. I would think that yes, the Imperium will in fact be defending tribute. May in fact be defending, still a portion of Vale itself. But it will not go all the way to probably the Geminate border that they do that.
Again, Flowers' main question: will he waste his time? At the end of the day, this is it. I said this before. It's about time and effort. If you have fun doing something in Eve, you'll do it, and you will try and get your friends to help you do it, and that's it.
Well, look, I like GigX a lot. Okay, I mean, I like CO2 a lot. I think that they are one of the serious fighting entities within the Imperium. The Greater Imperium better be there to help defend tribute from. In that particular case, and what I'm about to say, for more important reasons than just the fact that tribute is a doorway to the Goon homeland. Okay. Also because CO2 is one of the better fighting forces within the overall Imperium, and you don't let them with their dicks hanging out in the wind, because if they walk, then you've lost something that brings something to the entire coalition.
I agree, and that's it. Again, in the hour monologue I did before this, and half of it was me saying about this is a good thing for Eve because it means that people actually get out there and do stuff, and maybe fights will happen, maybe they won't, but if it means that Daddy Goon and all the others out there need to take stock and realize and go, you know what, we might need to trim the fat a little bit, or do this, or condense, consolidate, take stock, look at the things and go, right, we're going to plan to do this, and we do it, and this is what happens. Yes, Mittens has gone out there and said the whole thing on the Meta Show, we're withdrawing and all this, and okay, yeah, he's doing the propaganda thing, whatever, but it's in my opinion, it's a very, very, very good thing for Eve for fights to happen. And I know Stuck at the top post on our games right now is about the war. I know, I talked about it in the first hour of the show, and it is very, very good. And this is the thing, our games is so much more, Spurg free in Reddit than our Eve, because at the end of the day, you're never going to get rid of the Spurg on the internet, because hey, it's the internet. This is the thing, Minifer going says, is there anything comprehensive to learn about Eve? Seems incredibly massive. Stucker missed the first hour. Yes, I know a lot of people did. If you're watching on Twitch, you can go back and watch it afterwards, or you can go watch on YouTube. This is live on YouTube, and you can DVR back because they allow you to do that, and it'll all be up available in podcast form anyway. If you are a new player trying Eve, have fun, go out there, and don't be afraid to lose a ship. Don't be afraid to lose things, because that's the thing. If you're going to lose things, well, you are going to lose things, because you're not going to have it like. And you're not going to have it for everything for free. But also, the other thing, I'm sure, Dirk, you'll agree with me on this. Please, 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 if you're a new player, don't be one of the first things you say is, how do I make enough money to plex my account? Never, ever, 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 ever do that as a new player, because you will just get shit bored of the game and won't bother. Pay your subscription fee, have fun, and enjoy it.
But, the issue with Iwan-esque, I hope we somehow answered what it was he was looking for there before. But to bring that back up, I remember back at the time, okay, when that was going on, when it was kind of first starting and when there was first things going on over there, and they did have mercenaries involved, and then some other people came and got involved. The whole Blood in the Water was paid for by Iwan-esque, okay, or funded in some way by Iwan-esque. Seraph Bazarab, has a reasonable article for some background on kind of where it came from to where it is now. I mean, I think it leaves out some details, but in it he mentioned something like, I think it was Tissue pulling out maybe like a trillion ISK out of what they were doing over there, but it also attracted the attention of other entities in the area, right?
Yeah.
Pandemic Horde came and got involved, and other entities came and got involved. And I think that what it also did was it attracted people to the fact of because the Imperium never pulled some full super deployment over there to help with it. They were. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there were some big elements of it that were over there and whatnot. But there were other parts of it that simply weren't involved. And I don't know. Maybe that gave some of these people out there the idea of oh well, look, they're not reacting very swiftly to this. What would happen if we hit something over here?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that was kind of the beginning, and here we are now with with a couple regions away that is being lit up.
Skill training is destroyed and you die.
I like the fact that it's all spread as war. I mean, nobody likes to see where you live in space coming under attack, so that you can't do maybe other things that you normally did. Look, we have had what I will call, at least from where I've lived, in the Imperium for the last 3+ years or whatever, we have had a time of reasonable peace, all right, where most people were sitting there saying, where has war gone? Yeah. Now we don't even have to travel to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean...
And also, I want to say thank you to everyone who just followed, because I heard skill training is destroyed and you died in my ears about 5 times. And everyone on the Twitch feed saw it on YouTube, because it comes across as a guy running across, but... Anyway, you don't have to travel to war because war is on your doorstep. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, to some extent, from the Imperium's point of view, hey, we can't even blame Phoebe for this one because it's not like we have to travel the fountain.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what it is. There has not been a big, quote, great war for a couple of years, but going forward, maybe we'll see this. And I'm just in Jeter Undock, and I can see ships getting blown up right now. Okay, it's the Jeter Undock, but Jeter Undock. Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been a coalition on coalition type war since the Halloween War, really.
Yeah.
There's been some people out there that have been saying, all these people that have been saying, there'll never be another big war in Eve. There'll never be a BTAC-R or whatever. There'll never be the big fights or whatever again. Nobody was saying that, but what they were saying, is there hasn't been one in an awfully long time, way longer than what the normal, the normal situation was for Eve, where every 6 months or so, you kind of had a war of note going on out there. Every once in a while, you would have it. And I'm not talking BTAC-R. BTAC-R is a completely different animal to almost everything else that has ever happened in Eve. Obviously, it's the biggest of that sort. But it's the fact that it had been so long since the last one, and so many things had been put in place. Whether it be Phoebe, whether it be the new Fozzie-Sov, whether it just be, stagnation of people in general and the breakup of blocks out there. When the Halloween War happened, right? I mean, you had, N3PL, NC, the whole N3PL thing, and the Imperium and then others and things like that, right? A lot of those things had dissolved. The linkages between that side of the superpowers, had dissolved. It's not to say that PL went away. It's not to say that NC Dot went away. But just them being cohesively tied together with all of the others around them went away. People gave up space. With the whole Fozzie-Sov thing, I mean, when you look at who lives in Nullsec these days, literally lives there, has sovereignty, and cares about it. Mm-hmm. There's the Imperium, and then there's a bunch of, much smaller entities, and the Russians.
Yeah, and exactly. And this is the thing, you got to remember the Russians. They will just be sitting there waiting for that perfect time, and they will strike.
Well, I think the Russians to some extent are involved down where they are for now. The question that I hear a lot of people is well, when are they getting involved with this up here? Who knows? Maybe they don't get involved with this up here. Maybe because everything else is amassed up here right now, they use that as an opportunity to go and burn some southeastern region of the world. Maybe they use it as an opportunity to take back, old homelands or something.
Yeah, exactly. Someone was saying in game earlier on, oh, I can't wait for SMA to finally failscade because I've got stuff that's been out in their area, in those regions, in those stations for years, and I'd like to go and get it.
Well, geez, you probably could have just rejoined them. I mean, I don't think it takes all that much to get into SMA or really most of the Imperium alliances. And if you need to get your stuff out.
Exactly. To answer the question in game, Nana Omen, citadels are not. They don't need to be built in space. They are built in stations, and you need to deploy them. You can deploy the mediums and the large. I know you can deploy the mediums from transport ships. I think the larges are freighters. And the extra larges are freighters, I'm not 100% sure. Blue Man says, what are we watching? Looks like a bunch of ships running into each other. You're watching the G to undock by myself and Dirk.
Which is basically a bunch of ships running into each other.
And
trying to align to New Caldari or wherever.
Yeah.
And,
or just waiting for their Sino to be up and jump out. If they're a jump freighter, you see them jump out every so often. Or sometimes you see like an Orca like now just do a 360 flip. It's like, way, flip round done. But anyway.
But no, I think that this is great for the the players who are involved. Block level warfare and broad warfare on this extent, I think, is something that is at the core of EVE Online. Whether or not you like the mechanics, it doesn't really matter, because you know what? To be perfectly fair, nobody ever has liked sovereignty mechanics in EVE Online. We didn't like it back when it was pauses. We didn't like it when it was Dominion. So, meaning that at the time we had it, nobody was cheering any of these models, right? But we do what we do using the tools that we have. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pans out. I mean, obviously, I don't necessarily want to see my side lose, but I enjoy the fact that this is the differentiating factor with nullsec. We've got some shit on the line out there.
Yeah.
When an alliance has to pick up stakes and move someplace else that has been living there for a long time, there's a lot that goes into that, from the individual player perspective, from the leadership perspective, from the group's perspective, all of that, right? So these are the things that do try the will of the people, the players behind the keyboard to, well, is this really what I want to keep doing? I imagine that some of these alliances that are moving will shed some players along the way, only because when anybody has to pick up stakes and move, you'll get some of those individuals who will say, well, if I'm going to move, I might as well just move out.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing.
Yeah.
You get the people that go, you know what? I'm done with it and I'm going to go elsewhere. Right. And you'll get that.
And those are the names you put on the list and say, okay, well, obviously they're great during peacetime, and and when it comes to war, and when if it comes to we've got to move or whatever, they fall by the wayside. And
yeah. This is, I'm just looking at the Twitch chat.
But this will affect a lot more than just the actual players involved. I mean, it will affect more than just the Imperium. It will affect more than just the coalition and or alliances that are on the other side. Am I digging?
No, you're fine.
Oh, you had that look on your face like, oh God, he sounds like shit.
No, I'm talking. I'm typing and things. So. No, I'm talking back to Caleb in the YouTube chat. He says, doubt we'll see any of the XL citadels in the you built them and import them into the wormholes. Maybe 1 a month, 2 if you see them in the wild. In the wormholes, maybe. I think citadels, we will see them week 1. Week 1 will guarantee we will see citadels in.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely, because the amount of people that are going to be hoarding up all the bits you need to build them, outside of the new bits that the BPOs might not even be in. And then day 1, there are people going to be just pushing them in and pushing them out.
Well, I mean, look, the cost of them is not so astronomical that somebody out there won't sit there and say, I want to be the first. Even if it gets blown, even if I'm the first to build and the first to be destroyed.
Yeah. Who
gives a crap?
Exactly. And by the way, we are seeing a lot more newer players but players returning over the last week because people they've just gone to older low players and gone, CCP have gone, I have 10 days for free, come back. I know for a fact that Minor Dave is playing again, DJ Damage is playing again, Firefly is all they're playing.
I got some email the other day. An email the other day. Something about 99 cents for 10 days or something like that.
10 days for like literally $1. It's like, come back for 10 days on these accounts. And even Duck, if you did that, all you did on those accounts was went in, reactivated them, got some skill extractors, and just wiped those accounts clean and went, right. No, literally, Dave has done that on a couple of his accounts. He's like sitting on about 12.5 billion ISK right now. He had next to nothing coming back. But yeah, that's just what it is. Again, it's about bringing people back to the game.
Well, one of the things that is interesting, or is going to be interesting regarding this war, okay, is just where we are on the calendar right now. Okay, so obviously right now, March 27th. Okay, we are 31 days from Citadel being released. Okay, I'm not so much concerned about the Citadel side of the Citadel expansion. Yeah. All right, but 31 days from now, capitals are changing dramatically.
Yes.
In a very significant way, okay, for almost all of the ships except for really dreadnoughts.
Right? Dreadnoughts are getting they're getting a tweak. They're not getting a massive change.
Right. So it is going to be extremely interesting to see what happens when that change comes down, because the changes that are coming through with carriers, with super carriers, with Titans, all of that stuff, right? All of the new things that are coming in, especially on the fighter side of it, where it's no longer going to be launch, lock, say go fight. It's going to be interesting to see who is going to be willing to deploy capitals, knowing that maybe their players don't quite know how to use them anymore.
Yeah.
And what that means for the whole war thing. And let's not forget that we've also got FanFest coming up.
Exactly.
So you've got what looks to be the forming of a major war occurring. And you have got alliance leaderships and major FCs and that,
well, apparently,
players.
Apparently, Mittens is not going to FanFest. Mittens is not going to FanFest now.
Oh, is that what he said?
Well, this is what Noisy said to me in Twitch chat. I don't know if he was joking about on it, but even if that is true, if he's not going to FanFest,
well, I'm less worried. No offense to Mittens sitting, sitting in his office. Okay, I'm less worried about him being at FanFest than I am, strategic FCs and Sky Marshals and again, and on the other side, I don't know, whoever's leading the efforts from these other things, the players themselves that are going to FanFest, right? You get some very key people who are going to be there, along with line members and everything else that are involved. So so it will be interesting to see how FanFest comes into play here, as well as the Citadel expansion, how that comes into play with regard. Who knows? Do we see a lull in the war during that time, or something like that? Do we see a lull following the expansion, the Citadel expansion coming out while things readjust or whatever? Will there be a mad rush between now and FanFest to war, and then kind of a subsiding for a little while as shit shakes out? I don't know.
True. I'm just putting a thing in there. There we go. I was saying, if you're watching on Twitch and you want a lower bandwidth quality because you've got bandwidth impaired, you can watch the YouTube feed that we've got up of this show as well, because, well, we put it out there in all cases, because I know we're not in the top numbers of the Twitch at the moment for if it's streaming, so I know that's what's going to happen. We've got 55 of you watching on Twitch, and there is currently 5 of you watching on YouTube. Plus how many of you listening on the radio? There is currently 70 of you listening on the radio. So thank you for listening to myself, Tyrant, on for an hour, and Dirks and myself, Tyrant, on for the next 50 minutes. We're going to carry on. We're just going to keep this going, because why not? We might as well do this.
Yeah, I've got about 15 minutes, and then I've got to literally jump in the shower and go out to that Easter dinner thing.
You got Easter dinners, so that's it. To lower the bandwidth, I listen to audio only fixes for me. Again, Flo, if you want to, but that's where it is, and that's how it is. I'm going to tirade on for a little bit more, about 15 minutes. But again, the other thing as well that I saw this week, the Fade incursion. I talked about it just before you were here for Pandemic Horde, and again, it's another little poke. It's another little poke in the side to see what happens, and what goes with that. There was a good one this week, the Old Boys Network. Did you read that article on CZ this week, Dirk?
No, I did not.
It basically, it says about, I'll give you the quick the thing is, respect for elders is the staple of many societies, both historical and contemporary. In some areas, especially in Western Europe, North America, blah blah blah, it goes on the worship of that. Still, the societies in Eve most players come from, there are sectors where decidedly ageist in other extremes. Sport and other stardom in music are acting in mostly a young person's game. And you go down and you keep going. And basically, the good part of this is due to the long-term nature of the game. As the new art marketing director, CCP Danova, says at the CSM Winter Summit, it's one of our biggest groups of players, biggest group of people in the game is not intended are the players without the tolerance for a complex game. You know, the easy people that want to sit in high sec, do a bit of missioning, do a bit of mining, have fun with friends. And this is the thing where you look at it, Eve has got that to do that in all forms and factors. Look at me. I don't have to be a line member in 00 or doing this. I don't have to do that. You know, you can just do what you want. And this is what I've said before. It's about what me and you do. You were an alliance head member, you know, and then you stepped down and you went into corporation management. Then you decided, you know what, you're going to step back from that completely. Now you're just a line member and you're just having fun with doing it. Myself, I like being the talking head and I do that and I go out there and do it. And there's so many different things in Eve that people can do. And a lot of people out there say, they look at it and go, well, it's like in Twitch chat earlier on. Who was it that said? I've got to look back. Blueman 192 says, I love reading about the alliances in Eve and the tensions that leads up to them. And Nick's 1986 says, I have no interest in playing Eve, but the game meta is amazing and I love learning about it. And
let's just say, I mean, look, Eve is very deep and it's very broad. You can get into a level of complexity with it that completely goes beyond, I'm going to say, all other games, okay, and goes beyond games. Or you don't. You don't have to get involved with that stuff. Now, I don't know how thoroughly enjoyable it is, you know, to be a, solo PvEer in Eve, because, I mean, there's been a lot of times when we've said the PvE is not so hot. That being said, the option is there. The option to do a number of things in Eve is there. How much you want to bite off is a different thing. But I've always been part of nullsec. I've looked at other places, especially when I was taking a break from Eve. I looked at other places and other things to do, and nothing grabs my attention like the whole nullsec thing. Okay, because when you're it's so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than you as an individual, and I just like that grandness that that is created there.
Exactly, and that's the thing with the game. It's you can do what you want with the game. If you want to be a market trader in HiSec and just sit in stations in Jita, in Amar, in Dodixie, in Rennes, and make your money with doing that, you can do. If you want to be an industrialist and make stuff, you can do. If you want to be a miner and go out there and prospect and procure the minerals to then potentially make stuff or sell it for a quick buck, you can do.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just be somebody who's an explorer,
Yeah.
I mean, here's one of the things that I don't do in Eve, right? I don't do a lot of exploration. I don't do a lot of going out there and collecting little things or getting involved with player, these kind of player event things that they run, like what they did with Blood Raiders, and now there's some stuff going on with Baristas and shit like that, right? But what's funny, okay, is I've been playing The Division lately, all right? I've been playing a lot of hours of The Division lately. And one of the things that I did, when I wasn't running around with my little, squad of 4, through the Dark Zone or, running high-end missions or something like that, right? If I was just playing by myself, I went out and collected every piece of intel that there was. I went out and, I just ran around the city collecting this and collecting that and doing things there that I don't do in Eve. But that's because it's a different game. My focus in Eve is on these things that are really grand and big and whatnot. And over there, it was about, hey, look, I'm PvEing. I'm going and shooting, the NPCs. Hey, I'm going out there and exploring parts of the city. I'm exploring, the different things that you can pick up and unlocking achievements. Oh my God, what do I not care about in Eve? Unlocking achievements, or whatever they call them, these days, right? But over there, I'm all about unlocking achievements. I don't know why. It's just like, oh geez, it just feels like the thing to do.
You're enjoying, and that's the thing. You're playing the game you want to play and enjoy it. It's like right? I play Second Life, right? I DJ. I do 2 nights a week at a nightclub in Second Life. I tell you why. I do it because I like it. And you know what? People chuck me a little bit of cash. They chuck me a few Linden dollars. I can take that money out of the game if I want to. I have some fun doing it. I do it over on Eve Radio on some slots, but the slots that aren't are taken.
Yeah. Okay. So you know, and it's just funny because, so in the division last weekend there was a loot cave. Okay, there was this thing called this guy called the Bullet King that would just respawn. Okay, I don't know how many hours I sat there, depending on who else was with me and whatnot. You know, they would come, they would go, but I was always willing to do it. Going out there killing this guy. Okay, we got it down to about 38 seconds a run, and you know, just doing it over and over and over, right? Collecting the loot, which there is used for crafting, and I remember sitting there and going, oh my God, I feel like such a dirty exploiter, because I come from the world of EVE Online, where if there is an exploit and you exploit it, okay, you run the risk of coming up, you know, in violation of the EULA. You come, you know, of having them pull back your gains from having done that and things like that, right? And I'm laughing because while over here I would criticize the living shit out of it, over there it's like everybody's like, it's just Ubisoft, they don't care. No, they'll fix it, but you know, they're not going to take anything away from you or hold you, you know, or hold it against you. And then I think it was last night I logged in and one of the guys said, we got a new loot kit, because they patched on Tuesday, so they fixed that thing from last weekend. And then all of a sudden there was a new one that
you can do exposed
yesterday.
Ozzy was talking about it on Podside from last week. There's one guy you could go kill, wasn't it? The guy, you kill him, but don't kill his cronies, and he drops the gold thing, and you can pick that up, go back in, they respawn, and he comes back and do it, and you can just farm it.
Well,
dunk.
Apparently it worked on a number of the bosses in the game, but there was this one, the Bullet King, that
was outside the dark zone.
Well, because of where he was located relative to a safe house, you know, it was like you would just go, you know, out of the safe house, go out, kill him, run back into the safe house, and right as you ran back out of the safe house again, he would respawn, and you would just do this over and over and over again. Well, the one last night that was apparently exposed was a boss at the end of a mission, and if you killed him before he came down off of the ledge that he was on, what would happen is, because I guess because you can't get up there, if you killed him before he came down, then his shadow would reappear, his ghost would reappear down on ground level, and you could then kill him, loot him, and then allow yourself to be killed, and you would respawn right there. It's not like you would respawn at the beginning of the mission. You would respawn basically at the last checkpoint, run back out, do it again, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And it's like, but this is the difference between playing a game like The Division, okay, this kind of, you know, short-term focused, you log in, you run out, you have fun, you log out kind of a thing, versus EVE Online, where everything has this perpetual foreverness to it.
Exactly. And this is the thing where a lot of people, I was saying earlier on, a lot of people, you know, with gaming has changed. It's changed from the old days of MMOs, where in World of Warcraft you get 40 of your closest friends to get together on a Friday night or a Saturday night and go raid Molten Core or raid Blackwing Lair. And okay, all you got was 2 pieces of loot per boss. There may be 6 bosses, 7 bosses. So out of the 40 people that were there, maybe some of that loot that dropped maybe would work for 1 or 2 classes, or 1 class. You know, again, it's because it's class specific loot. So you had hunter drops, or, you know, actually, well, everything was a hunter drop, because everything's a hunter drop. Any WoW players will get that. But you had something, and you geared up your group of people, whereas now games have changed. And I was listening to a podcast called The Crate and Crowbar, they were talking about this. Games have changed, have gone from this massive stage all the way down to where you have your small band of merry friends, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, going out and doing stuff, and then you get geared up really quickly, and then you do it and done. You get to the end, and all of a sudden you're like, done, what's next? Oh, there's nothing next. Okay, just rinse, repeat, farm that. I'm going to go play tanks for a little bit, or do this for a little bit. Oh, there's a super capital trapped in Eve. Right, let's log in and kill that. Pew, 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 done. Right, what next? I don't know. Candy Crush on your phone.
I mean, yeah. And again, just how I approach Eve is from this thing that will last forever. Okay, where what you do today in Eve could possibly have ramifications for down the road. Versus these other games that while might be enjoyable for however long you intend to play them. I mean, chances are I'll move on from the Division. Maybe they come out with the next expansion, whatever it is, right? I'm still in that it's new phase, that I'm building my character phase, that kind of thing. But Eve is this thing that, it has this feeling of living forever, and which I see. I just don't even consider Eve a game anymore. I consider it this big simulator of sorts. But that's because of the side of the game, that I enjoy playing. I think that if I was just what I'll call a casual player logging in to run missions or things like that. Well, you know what? Guess what? The missions will be there next week. I don't have to do it this week. It's not like I have something big going on. It could be that that simpler version of how to play a game. But it is funny. It is funny that when I get off into one of these other games, a lot of the things that I truly deeply care about with regard to Eve make no difference to me whatsoever over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly because there's no ownership. Now I tell you what, like a game like The Division where you've got the Dark Zone, hey, if we could build bases and, have squads larger than 4 maybe and create, clans or whatever the hell they would call them over there. I don't know. Maybe all of a sudden it would take on this bigger meaning because there was something more constant, because there would be a sense of loss, right? You die in a game like that, you don't even lose the stuff that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the consequences in a game like that are nothing compared to the consequences in Eve where, hey, whatever you're flying at the time, or in the case of something like Nullsec where somebody can come out and steamroll your space or something, consequences are really what makes Eve and all these other games temporary.
Exactly. And they're diversions from real life, and that's what it is. But real life has to carry on. It is the official day where a pool cleaner from New Mexico decided to get out of bed and actually go clean a pool today. So, yeah, this is the thing. It's Easter officially here in the UK and the US and all over, but we're having a little mini Easter here. We've had some Easter eggs, but we're going to have our proper Easter when we go to Bulgaria in April. In the end of April, because Easter out there is the Orthodox one on the same.
Yeah. Orthodox Easter's at a different time.
And Tyrant Scorn in Twitch says, "Oh my God, it's Dirk! Cool to see you on cam."
Oh my God, it's Tyrant.
Yeah, oh my God, it's Tyrant. It's you. But no, anyway, Dirk would have been here at the beginning, but he stayed up and didn't drink coffee, and then was like, But anyway, Dirk, people can catch you on 2 shows on Twitch. Well, 3 shows on Twitch. This one, they can catch you on the OpenCom show on Thursday on the Matani.com Twitch, and also on Talking Stations, which is the new show with Matterall, correct?
With Matterall, yeah. Friday nights with Matterall. What is it? 9 p.m. Eastern. I guess that's what. Is it still 0200 UTC? No, it's UTC now, right?
UTC stays the same. So
UTC stays the same.
But Eastern's gone forward, so that means you go back an hour. Right. So,
anyways, it's still 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Obviously, open comms. Yes, I am back there. Which is usually a bunch of good fun, and then I wake up Friday morning going, "Oh God, that was hard." And then Friday night we've got Talking in Stations where Matterall, who's the Eve bureau chief for the Matani.com, hosts that. Drayden's on that as well. We've had some really good conversations and guests lately on there. It's been fun. Sadly, I wish it wasn't Friday night, not because I have some Friday night life that I need to really get to that often. But just it is the day right after Open Comms. But it was the only time slot that was open, kind of in that 9 p.m. U.S. East Coast
evening,
where you're taking it. So I know we were shooting for a different night, but time slots got taken up. It's fun. I mean, I don't know. Once again, this might be one of those things where it's like overexposed and that sort of thing. I enjoy talking about Eve. I enjoy talking about what's going on, with preferably with people who know way more than I do about it. Okay, and that's not a cut on you. That's a thing of.
I know.
enjoy the conversation because I've been playing this game since 2008, and I find myself always still learning. Learning from people out there who know what's going on, right?
Exactly.
All this stuff happening with the capital, with the capital changes and whatnot, following people like Rocket X and hearing what it is that they're saying about what they're doing out on Sissy and what the changes are, the changes are and things like that, right? But Eve is a game where you're always learning, or you could be always learning if you so desire. And that is why I do these shows. I do these shows because I'm talking to different people at different times and getting different perspectives about what's going on in the world of Eve, which I think is an interesting world.
Yeah, that's what it is. My 10-year mark for Eve is officially October this year, my birthday this year. That's officially 10 years because I joined in 2006. But when you look at it that way, you're
Do you get a sword? See, we don't get a sword for being around for 10 years.
No, I don't. I suppose I could poke guard and say, give me a sword, and he might just send me this tiny little opener in the post. And I was like, whatever. But no.
Should be. If CCP is listening right now, maybe that is something they should do. That if you've been around for 10 years, and for those people out there who don't know, if you're an employee of CCP, when you hit the 10-year mark, you're literally given a sword, like a real sword. Now, not for you to take home. I guess it hangs someplace in the company.
Literally, because of the laws in Iceland, you get given it at FanFest, and once they give it to you, you hold it up, and once you go off stage, they take it back off you, and then it's gone, put in a case, and hung up in the CCP offices. They're not allowed, because of the laws. They're not allowed to have it. It's technically classed as a weapon. So
maybe now that that this game is as old as it is, maybe they should have the same thing in Eve, where just like when they give away stuff for Christmas, and it's just a little item that goes into your loot can.
No, not even the loot can. A physical something like you can wear. A sword you can hold in your hand.
You know what? Maybe that is something that maybe that is something. And hell, just throw it into the throw it as a part of the that.
Do you know what, Tyree? Just a side point. What Blizzard did, if you subscribed to the game for 10 years and you didn't break your subscription, they sent this statue to everyone. The massive orc statue they did for Warlords of Draenor, which had it was an orc riding a saber, riding a warg or something. They sent a miniature one of those to everyone if you had a subscription for 10 years and didn't lapse. They just sent it to you. They just sent it.
Well, and I like that idea of if you didn't let your subscription lapse, because I think that there is something to being a full-time, straight 10-year veteran, but it would actually just tie in nicely with what CCP does for their own employees. Back to the game, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, listen, I got to go because my wife is literally going to rip my head off if I don't shower and shave for Easter dinner.
Well, that's it. So thank you to Dirk. For me, TotalEve.com, NewEdenUpdate.com. You can find all the stuff there. I know I only did 2 shows this week, real life, Easter, whatever. All that sort of stuff here as well. Patreon, all the links are there. Thank you. If you've enjoyed this, subscribe, support, do all that stuff. Music's going to be carrying on in a minute, because I'm going to do an hour of music, because I will. We'll be back next week. Take care, fly safe, and if you get podded, whine, moan, complain, and kick some ass, because why not? Peace. Later.